Hey all, Bleach out here. I'm going to take a interesting list through a league today. It's Kalorrdian's Ephemerate Martyr. They recently 5-0'd with this list. It's quite interesting because instead of Path to Exile, we're running 4 copies of Ephemerate. And we're also running a couple Wall of Omens to kind of take advantage of that. And with that, we've kind of cut down on a Martyr because we're only running 2 serra ascendants. We're not running Abiding Grace, and we're running 2 more Ranger of Eos to really take advantage of the ETB effects, plus a full playset of Skyclave Apparition, which is a great card with Ephemerate, because you can just deny your opponent the token if you play it right. Now, this is not exactly their list. I've brought in 2 Ghost Quarters over 2 planes because I like to have the full 8 land destruction spells, and I'm thinking I'm going to cut a giant killer from their sideboard for a Crucible of Worlds. I just like the option. Alright, so without further ado, let's take this through a league and see how it goes. Alright, here we are for round 1. On the draw, I could keep this, although it's a little risky. If I don't draw a second land, it's pretty much game over because I'm not can't actually draw any more cards until I have a second land. Otherwise, it would be a perfect hand. So I'm gonna mulligan this, and well, this is considerably weaker, but I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna put the Ghost Quarter on the bottom, and just see what happens. Okay, I should have kept the Ghost Quarter. Oh, all right, Thoughtseize bug, mulligan bug. So I normally, if I was playing any other deck, I would run out the Wall of Omens here, but I'm going to hold the Ghost Quarter to see what they fetch for. I still don't know if they're Gtron or Eldrazi-tron, and I don't really want to find out. Alright. Alright, so they're Gtron, so I'm glad I used the Ghost Quarter there. So at this point, I just hope that my opponent doesn't find another Urza's Tower. Okay, so they played the Urza's Mine. Alright. So I'm going to run out the Wall of Omens here now. Oh, a second Field of Ruin, that'll be very useful. I just have to hope they don't have the tower in hand. Now, Expedition Map. That's not so bad. Oh, alright, so we're really in business. I'm gonna Field of Ruin their Urza's Tower because they did just search for it, and that tells us that they don't have another one in hand. And then because they floated mana, I think I'm going to move to my second main, and I'll play out the Thraben Inspector here. If they have something like Dismember on my Wall of Omens, then I'll Ephemerate, of course. But I can't imagine a scenario where they would do something like that. Warping? Okay, well. Guess we'll do that. It's just free real estate. Also, they failed to find a basic, so these other Field of Ruins will end the game if they don't have any other lands. We drew another Ephemerate, which is really good. Okay, Sylvan Scrying, they'll probably find another tower, and then we'll put that one down too. A Relic, okay. Relic isn't bad. Okay, they'll just cycle it right away. Alright. So we'll rebound. Of course, draw a card when we can. Get that Field of Ruin off here. Play out the Thraben Inspector. And then pass to them, holding up Ephemerate. If they somehow have tower off the top, play Ugin, then I'm in a bad spot. Okay. Another Relic. That's quite good for us. Because if they do play another tower, then it would be their last tower, and it would just be game over. I think I'll Ephemerate here, draw a card. If they have Warping Whale, that's fine. Sure. So I'm going to correct my clue token now. Yeah. In case I draw some more gas. I'm wondering now if it might have been incorrect to Field of Ruin their power plant, because they could draw another Sylvan Scrying or Ancient Stirrings to try to find their last tower, or expedition map. I think I'll find my last Thraben Inspector here, or another Thraben Inspector here, just to try to get the pressure on. I won't sack Ranger Captain right away. If they cast Sylvan Scrying or anything, I will. Ancient Stirrings. Yeah, I think I will, just to be safe. I haven't won this matchup yet by any means. Okay, so they found the expedition map, but they can't cast it this turn, which is quite good because they'll need 3 mana to play it and crack it. And I found a Ghost Quarter. Okay, so I found another Ghost Quarter. That sucks for them. Let's see. Next turn, if they play Expedition Map, then crack it and play Tower, then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they have 7 mana. So what I think I need to do here is Ghost Quarter their power plant to put them down a mana. Then maybe they'll play their tower and then Expedition Map for their another power plant, which would be good for us. A blast zone? Oh no. Okay, so they got the tower, but they've already made their land drop. I think I'll cash in my Ephemerate here and draw a card. Alright. I'm going to pretend like I don't have a Ghost Quarter, and then end of turn I'll probably cast Solitude. It's even better if they play... Okay, so they are playing this quite smart. Means that I need to Ghost Quarter their power plant now. And I'll find all my hawks here. Which I probably didn't need to do. Alright, there's that tower. They have another worm coil? They do. Okay, well. I have another Solitude. Oh, and we drew the Field of Ruin. Okay, that's absolutely brutal for our opponent. I'm sure they're very frustrated. And I'll play with my Serra Ascendant just to use all my mana, because I can cast Solitude again end of turn. If they are intending on using their Blast Zone, then Solitude here is 8 damage. No targets. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so sideboarding against Tron. Probably bring in Damping Sphere, Crucible of Worlds. And you could be justified to bring in a couple Disenchant. Aven Mindcensor is also quite good here. I'm going to cut my Rangers, my Winds of Abandons, and I'll cut a Martyr as well for something like this. Kind of less in on the life gain plan. So I think in game 1 we got very lucky with our Ghost Quarters and our Field of Ruins. I will keep this, although turn 3 Field of Ruin may be too late. So I'm hoping I top deck a Ghost Quarter or something. Alright, so that's good. Nothing on turn 1 means no expedition map. So that they either have natural Tron, okay, or is this Chalice on one, Warping Whale, okay. So they probably have natural Tron. Fingers crossed. Of course I draw a hawk here, that's just how it works. Blast Zone. Oh wow, okay. Relic of Progenitus, okay. Oh, and we drew a Ghost Quarter. Okay, so this game is going to go well, I think. I think what I would like to do is play a Squadron. Yeah, play a Squadron Hawk. And then I would like to use my Ghost Quarter. Giving them the forest means that they could Sylvan Scrying, or, fetch for their land a little easier. So it's possible that I should have just used Field of Ruin on the tower and then Ghost Quarter on the forest. But that's probably just too 5-head. Yeah, they have the expedition map. Which gives me an interesting option here. So they've showed me that they don't have Tron. So I'm going to eat their expedition map and cross my fingers that they don't have the last Tron land and a threat in their 3 cards in hand. 4, technically, with the Chromatic Star. It's a good start. Okay. The apprehension was killing me. So they may take up the Blast Zone here. I'm hoping they go to 3. Okay, so they're going to go to 2 counters, which means they'll target my Squadron Hawks. So I'll just pass. Alright, so they're making 1/1 token. So if they play a land, they can make Karn. Also, it looks like they boarded in a forest. Yeah, okay. Wormcoil, yeah, sure. So I don't think I need to use the Field of Ruin yet. So I think I'll just play Ranger Captain, and I'm going to go get a Martyr of Sands and play the Martyr of Sands out. Because when they attack with the Wormcoil engine, I can block with either the Ranger Captain or the Martyr of Sands. And then sacrifice. And they won't be able to gain any life. Okay, Sylvan Scrying. They found the power plant. Alright. So I'm going to go to combat, and I'm going to attack with just those three, leaving the Ranger Captain behind. Now I'm going to force them to crack the blast zone. Okay, so they didn't crack it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't get 7 power on board. So I think I'll just Ghost Quarter them. And I'll play out a Squadron Hawk, just for a little extra pressure. I would have liked to draw another Martyr or something. Okay, that also doesn't do it. So if I attack, I put them to 5. I think I just attack with these. I'll be jumping with the Squadron Hawk. No, actually, I think I'll just do all the damage that I can, play out my entire hand. And then Ghost Quarter their power plant. So this way it's 8 damage. If they attack me and I don't block, they go up to 8. If they don't attack, I can just fly over with Hawks. Them having like a bridge here wouldn't do anything. A Warping Whale would be enough for them to survive. Alright, so that's good games, and we'll move on to the next one. Alright, here we are for round 2. Looks like a companion match. Yeah, we got Lurrus of the Dream Den. I think this hand is great. I'm going to keep it. Black Cleave Cliffs. Alright, so it's probably something like red-black. Alright. In this case, because they played Ragman on turn 1, I'm going to cast the Martyr of Sands to block it. And they'll have to use a removal spell on the Martyr. Yeah. I think that's okay. And they exiled one of our Field of Ruins. another Ephemerate. Normally I would like to play the wall here. I think I will, actually. It's not ideal if they find like another removal spell to block and then remove it, but I'd prefer that and try to find a land. An untapped land, specifically. Yeah, that's my punishment for not playing Squadron Hawk, but I think that's also okay. Alright, they found a Terminate. If I'm lucky, I can outgrind them. We'll see. So I think if they cast Ephemerate, they get to rebound it. I'm not sure if that even matters. We should just leave it exiled. Alright, found another emeria. Slightly awkward, because they get to hit me again with the rake pen. But I'll survive. Unless they get something really good. Like a plains. Yeah, Kroxa is good. I think with Kroxa, I'll discard the Ephemerate. I think my Ranger Captains are better here. They can just cast Kroxa again. Wow. That's absolutely horrific for me. The only way for me to fix that is if I'll toss a Ranger Captain in case I draw an untapped land. And, well, I didn't. Thraben Inspector could be good. I think it's just Ranger Captain, though. I do think I find another Thraben Inspector. And then I discard one of the Inspectors, so I can keep my Ephemerate. I have to block the, well, I guess I don't have to block the Kroxa. I can go to 5. So let's try this. I'm going to get in with the Ranger Captain here. And then I'm going to Ephemerate my Captain. And I'm going to find a Martyr of Sands, which can help me gain some life back. I should probably just cash in my other Ranger Captain here for another Thraben Inspector. The double Ephemerate is nice because I can do that again next turn, as long as they don't have a removal spell, of course, for my Ranger Captain. Okay, so we'll allow the discard to happen. Then go to block with the Martyr of Sands. And then gain 3. It's pretty much the same thing, I suppose. Okay, let's go to Lurrus. I have to figure out which one I'm trying to cast. There we go. Take out my Ranger. Find my Martyr. Cast this one too. Find a serra ascendant. Draw a Ghost Quarter, which isn't as good, but I'll play out this Thraben Inspector. That's pretty good. I I am curious how I'm supposed to turn the corner, though. I think I really have to find a solitude, and that will get me back in this game. I do wonder if I've done my fetching wrong, though. Another Cruxa? Okay. It's going to be very difficult to get back in this game. Because they can just cast Cruxa again with Lurrus and deal me another 3 damage. And it's basically just a discard or 3 damage per turn. So, it's a good start. That's not really it. I'm going to take 6 off the Cruxas, so if they have like a bolt or something, I'm pretty much dead. Might as well just pass the turn. But I need to find like a Winds of Abandon off the top. Just blocking with thraben Inspector in case I find an Ephemerate for my Wall of Omens. That won't do it. Okay. So red-black typically is a hard matchup for me, although I haven't tried it with Ephemerate Martyr. I do think this is what I would bring in, and I think I'll cut the Ascendants because they normally go pretty in on, well, they have Unholy Heat, and Unholy Heat is just terrible against them. So because I'm cutting 1-drops, I'm going to cut the Ranger of Eos, and because I cut the Ascendants, I'm going to cut a Martyr, but I would still like 2 of them to gain me some life in some scenarios. I think this is okay. I like keeping in the Ephemerates because they can save my creatures from removal, and that itself is, well, I suppose it's a 1-for-1. Unless I'm getting another ETB ability out of it, in which case it's a 2-for-1, definitely. So Skyclave Apparition will be very good in this matchup. Being able to take a Cruxa with it or Regavan is very good. I do think that the turn where I could have cast a Squadron Hawk over the Wall of Omens, I probably should have. But I'm not sure what that would have changed in the long run. Okay, so this hand is a little awkward, but I'm going to keep it. Feeling risky. We do have good spells here, and Solitude, Ephemerate Solitude is very good. Okay, we got Tragon's Rage Channeler, and Bobble. Flagstones, that makes his hand very good. Ideally, if I don't have to evoke with Solitude, I'm in a good spot. However, if they dash Regavan here, then I just get to 2-for-1 and have this Solitude out. Thoughtseize. think I let them Thoughtseize me here. They will take Solitude. Yeah, so I figured they just had Lightning Bolt. Oh, come on. Thoughtseize bug in action. So depending on what they do next turn, I might just evoke in Solitude and Ephemerate it. But if they're just attacking with the Channeler, then I don't think I will, because I don't want to get blown out by removal. I will, however, Ghost Quarter my flagstones. Alright, so with this I'm going to get a Martyr and a Thraben Inspector. Alright, we got to terminate. So if they have triple bolt in hand, I'm done. They've already cast 2, so I think I'm okay. I mean, they could have 2 more. Alright, so they're just doing Crux. So I am curious what I'm supposed to ditch here. I think it's an Ephemerate, but I'm not sure. I should do this while they're tapped out. Technically, I can Martyr, gain 3, and then exile the Thraben Inspector. Or I can just hardcast Solitude, which is also good, but they probably have a ton of removal in their hand, even though they've already played 3 pieces. That's kind of what this deck does. So I think I actually want to play Thraben Inspector and draw a card, see what I have up here. I should have left Ghost Quarter up. I'll leave the other one up. Alright, so I'm going to evoke Martyr of Sands, and then Ephemerate. Remove both their creatures, pass to them. Thoughtseize, go for it. Engineered explosives on 1. Okay, so they'll probably crack it. Yeah, okay. So that's just so I can't get value off of my Ephemerate. But it is what it is. I just won't cast it. So these Den of the Bugbears, they could be like a little problematic, but the Graven Cairn fixes their mana so much, so I'll just Field of Ruin the Cairn, and then they're unlikely to activate Den of the Bugbear while I'm sitting here with 2 Ghost Quarters up. So what they'll probably end up doing is putting Lurrus in their hand, and if they drew another land, just playing the Lurrus. Dauthi Voidwalker, okay. Okay. Voidwalker is very good. Like, it's unfairly good. So I'm gonna hold up my Ghost Quarters still. No, and I'll play out this Emeria. If we can get Emeria going in the late game, then we're in a good spot. But the fact that they can just pull Lurrus out of their sideboard is it's very difficult for us. Okay. Flagstones. So flagstones is planes 5 and 6, which is quite good. I need to beware, however, Lurrus and then playing EE from the graveyard. Channeler, that means I probably have okay, not sure what they have. Yeah, Mishra's Bubble, Regiman in the graveyard. Maybe they have one in hand. Looking at the top card of my library. Oh, I forgot. With Douthie, I can't Ghost Quarter my flagstones and get 2 planes out of it. So I need to look for some removal off the top. That's it. That's game. Because they can just cast EE for 2 and then blow it up and get in for 6. So that's it. Okay, here we are for round 3. Looks like another companion matchup. Jegantha. Jegantha could be any number of things. Could be Niv Mizzet, could be Jeskai Ascendancy, could be Hardened Scales, something like John Sack, could be anything. Could be Eldrazi-tron. So we'll have to see based on their first play. I will keep this hand. I think it's a bit medium. Citadel. Okay, so it's looking like hammer time. Maybe just Affinity. They're going all out. Oh, it could be Neoform Affinity. That would be a little scary. But that is nice of them to play their whole hand. Regenerate. I think I should just do this now. It's a little funny just getting rid of 1/1s, but they got 2 Springleaf Drums, they have 1 card in hand. That basically strands them on 1 land. Otherwise, they would probably do something. Now this also makes it so that they can't play a creature on their turn, otherwise I'll just evoke my solitude and eat it. And Okay, I think they're going for it. That's unfortunate. Good night. And I'll play an emeria and just pass the turn. So the sideboard Katakis in this matchup are going to be very good. I do wonder if they have any basics. So I'm going to play Field of Ruin, and I'm going to Field of Ruin their Glimmer Void in their upkeep when they're least likely to use their spells. Okay, so they are running an island. Shadow Spear, yeah, which means they probably have Urza's Sagas, so I should probably hold on to this Ghost Quarter. Ranger Captain is a great draw. And I think I'll be playing Ranger Captain here, just so I can put a little extra power on board. I'm going to get a thraben Inspector. That's always my go-to play. I can take my upkeep stop off. Frogmite. Okay. This kind of tells me that they're on the Neoform plan. Okay, you know, I could just be wrong. The Nettle Cyst will be a little hard to deal with. So with this Ranger of Eos, I should go get a Serra Ascendant and a Martyr. I should just go get both of my Serra Ascendants, actually. And I'll play one out. Alright, there's the Urza's Saga. So they'll probably be equipping Shadow Spear here. Yeah, I probably should have thought that through when I went to get 2 Ascendants. I'll just take it, because my life total is high enough. Martyr of Sands, okay, that's a good, well, fairly good draw. Solitude, that's even better. I'll exile my Serra Ascendant. It's unlikely that I'll get up to, well, actually I can wait on that. I think I will Ghost Quarter their flagstone or their saga now. I don't want them getting value out of it next turn. But then I'll play the Martyr of Sands so I can gain 9 life. Actually, if I attack with Solitude and Serra Ascendant, if they make a weird block, I can kind of punish them for it. Yeah. So they're not really punished here, but I will go up to 30 life. So my Serra Ascendant will live. The Frogmite will live too, but it's fine. It's always fun to teach opponents what state-based actions are. Cranial plating. Oh yeah, cranial plating, Not good. I would like to draw I guess an Ephemerate or skyclave apparition off the top. I let them equip, actually I don't know why I let them equip, because they did have to tap the Frogmite to equip it. So they're going to gain 17 life. Alright, so I'll play out my thraben inspector, try to find an answer. It's not an answer, but it is good. And I'm just going to attack with everything. They don't have enough mana to equip Shadow Spear and Nettle Cyst and Cranial Plating. They might be able to do Cranial Plating and Shadow Spear, or Nettle Cyst and Plating. Or if they wanted to tap their creature, they could do Nettle Cyst and Shadow Spear, but I really doubt that they would. So it's most likely going to be Shadow Spear and Plating, because that gives them the most amount of life when they swing. Yeah, as expected. 12. Oh, and I can't even kill it. Maybe I should have held something back. So if I block with both, I go back to 30. There we go. Alright, so Skyclave Apparition, and I'm going to take their Shadow Spear because that's the way that they trample through and gain life, and that's what's difficult for me. The rest of it isn't too difficult. I don't think they have any other ways to give trample. They could have some flying creatures, but that's okay. So I forgot, even if I had 3 power, they had the Welding Jar, so they would just save their Frogmite. The Thought Monitor off the top, that's pretty good. One of those was double hand, which is nice. I'm glad they didn't just draw more gas. They'll probably equip Nettle Cyst to the Thought Monitor here, and then they can just block my flyers all day. Yeah, so like Ephemerate here, that would be very nice. If they attack with the Frogmite, I will block with the Apparition. Yeah, I didn't think that they would. Okay, Ranger, that's... Well, yeah, it gets me a thraben Inspector. Which might help me make another land drop, get a little closer to Emeria. Not quite, but that's okay. So them thinking about tapping mana there, yeah, they probably have. Okay. Probably shoot my Squadron Hawk. Not sure. Ranger views. Okay. I'm okay with that. Thoughtcast, yeah. This deck has a lot of gas once they get to a certain point. There's a Saga that's bad for me as well. But however, Kataki out of the sideboard will be very good. Solitude. That's very good. So I'm going to draw a card with the Wall of Omens here, try to look for a little bit of land destruction for the Urza Saga, or Skyclave Apparition for their Nettle Cyst. Yeah, okay. That's it. Alright, so in this matchup, I think I would bring in Kataki and Disenchant. I don't know about Path to Exile. I don't think it's quite as useful. I am unsure what to cut, though. I do like Serra Ascendant because it's very hard for them to kill. I'd probably trim a Ranger, trim a Wall, trim a thraben. And this is probably incorrect. I could probably get rid of Winds of Abandon, but I do think they Winds off the top is like a very good way to beat this deck. So we've got one land, although we do have the Solitude again. I think I'm going to keep on the draw. It's probably incorrect. That's pretty. Oh, that's pretty good too. Okay, I'll play my Emeria, pass. Ideally, I can draw an untapped land here. Untapped land into Kataki is very good. Okay. Please untap land. Okay. I think I'll just play Thraben Inspector for now and pass back. I can block their 1/1s. On their turn, they'll probably fetch Shadow Spear though. Oh, they didn't even add mana. I think that's good for me. Yep, Shadow Spear, because they could have tapped it to add a mana and then been able to equip the Shadow Spear. Alright, well, they had the land anyways, so. And the Sojourner's Companion. Okay. If I have an untapped land, I'm in a very good spot. Okay, well, in this case then, I think I will evoke an Ephemerate with the Solitude. And I'll just eat their 2 biggest creatures. And then pass back to them. Kataki still will be good. Oh, okay. So I do think this is one of the scenarios, though, where I would like Ephemerate to be Path to Exile. So that I could Path to Exile my own thraben Inspector. Alright, I'm going to get rid of their flyers because they're probably going to put cranial plating on the flyers. And there we go. I will attack with the solitude. And they can trade here if they like. Oh, I can't, right? Because it doesn't have haste. So we'll let them figure out their triggers and what they want to keep. Keeping the cranial plating. Can't keep the shadow spear. They probably keep the ornithopter. But this is a good game, because if they keep the ornithopter, then they lose the 2 memnites and their land. If they don't draw anything good, they may just concede here. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Alright, here we are back with Ephemerate Martyr in round 4. Looks like we're up against Caleb D. Should be interesting. I think this is an unkeepable hand. Need that white source. Okay, this is a little awkward, but it's better. I'll put a solitude back and keep this. Now, Caleb is usually known for doing weird things. Okay. Looks like a rematch of the last match. Oh, and I drew the Ephemerate. I think I'll just wait and see what they do before I solitude Ephemerate. Okay, here's a Saga. Cranial plating, yep. I actually think it's not worth it, so I'm just going to take it. I'll play Wall of Omens next turn. I'll be taking a little bit of a chunk from the Ornithopter, unless they want to make a construct. So, like, I'm okay. I kind of want to make them... Oh, they see the Ephemerate. I kind of want to make them equip the cranial plating and not have mana for also making a construct. That would be ideal. Okay, perfect. Forcing me to block. Alright, so they do know about the Ephemerate, but they don't know about the Solitudes. I can play entirely on their turn, and I can evoke 2 Solitudes with Ephemerate, which should end the game pretty quick, to be honest. I'm going to let them search. They probably search for Shadow Spirit. Oh, Springleaf Drum is a good one too. Yeah, I guess they do need mana. And another cranial plating. Okay, so when they go to equip, this is when I'll ruin their day. Alright. Okay, I think I'm actually going to use my other Ephemerate on the Wall of Omens here to draw a card. No, I'll do this now. And this way I can exile their whole board. Alright, so we got the first Ephemerate, we'll target our Solitude, Solitude their Memnite, and then the second Ephemerate, we'll target our Wall of Omens, draw a card. And looks like we still didn't get there, but we can play the Squadron Hawk. And pass back to them. Frogmite. Very nice. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Okay, the green mana tells me that they probably have Neoform, which, isn't that good for me? Oh my gosh. So I'm going to do the thing where I exile their Thought Monitor. And I'm going to play Thraben Inspector because maybe I can crack a clue to find a land next turn. Brainstone. Okay, so the Brainstone probably is to put their Neoform targets back in the deck if they need to. I think I don't mind. Oh boy. Please, a land. Thank you. So I think the Solitude can block the Frogmite. I think I just don't attack here. Okay, so if they find Neoform here and a land, then they can Neoform into Grizzlebrand and draw a ton of cards, so that wouldn't be very good for me. Okay, Frogmite is fine. That's very fine for me. And I'll just block with the Thraben Inspector here. No need to do anything too weird. I think I'm going to cast a Ranger of Eos, and I'm going to find my Martyr, and, well, 2 Martyrs. To get my life up there, then get a big flyer going. Okay, so I'm just going to do this and fully trade here. And I think I will evoke here, hit the Frogmite. This probably isn't correct, but I know they have 0 cards in hand, they don't have any companions. and then I can just kind of get in there and start making ascendants, or one ascendant really. I did exile the other one. Probably a little hasty on that, but it's fine. Skyclave Apparition is a great draw. And I'll play out the other Martyr. Pass to my opponent. Got a nice, what is it, 5-turn clock? So getting a Thraben Inspector here because I want to hold the Martyr up, you know, just in case. I don't think it'll come up. Yeah, that's it. Going to game 2. We have some good tools here. Kataki, of course, is great. Disenchant is also good. I do wonder about Path to Exile, but I think the Solitudes are just great with Ephemerate instead. So I'll probably do what I did that other game, just made some trims. Actually, I'll probably cut this before I cut my first Thraben Inspector, because, you know, it's just the best card in the deck. And Kataki is, of course, a complete beating in this matchup. I have had 2 in my sideboard for a while, but haven't really expected to see Affinity. So it's quite nice to have them here. I mostly expect Hammer Time, which is quite good against as well. So I think we'll mulligan this hand, try to look for like a colored land source. It's a little awkward, and it's probably just because I added 2 Ghost Quarters to the deck. Alright, I think this is keepable. I'm going to put the Serra Ascendant in the bottom, because Serra Ascendant is not very good, unless I'm above 30 life. If I can get up to 6 lands, though, the Winds of Abandon will be very, very good. Or if I can top deck Ephemerate, which I did not have another turn, though. Top decking Kataki here would be great as well. Okay, no, so I'm just going to play out both of my Thraben Inspectors, really. Get a little bit of a clock going. So my opponent probably has Enforcers, Thought Monitors, yep. No problem, no problem. Let's draw a card. If it's Ephemerate, that's great. Okay, it is not, but that is also great. I'll just pass them back. See what happens next. Chances are I just get neoformed. Which, you know, if that happens, not too upset. It is what it is. Or maybe their entire hand. No, this looks like Neoform. Yeah. Just gonna put the Fear of God back in them. what you're getting. It's probably Gristlebrand, to be honest. Craterhoof. Okay. I don't think Craterhoof quite does it. I will evoke now to lessen the ability. I do wish I had an Ephemerate though. This is just 12 damage. It's not much at all. And I'll just take it. Oh yeah, okay. So I'll just play Kataki. There we go. That's it. Kataki wrapping it up as always. Very nice. And on to the next. Alright, we're back for round 5. We're currently 3-1 with Ephemerate Martyr. I would like to play first, and I'm going to take a mulligan here to try to find more lands. This I'll keep, although it's doesn't have much action. Thraben Inspector is a redraw, so that is nice. And they're on Tron. Okay. This Ghost Quarter will come in handy though. Utron. Oh, interesting. Maybe I don't care then. Chalice of the Void on 1. Maybe I can find a skyclave apparition off the top. No? Okay. Alright, well, we'll get in for 1. And then in their upkeep, I'll fail to ruin them. They might just repeal my Thraben Inspector or something. That would be a little funny. Tron, I find that you need to worry less about Tron and more about getting your spells countered. Like if I jam Squadron Hawk onto this board, they'll counter it easily. But I think I have to. Normally they play something like Condescend, so it'll be like counter unless you pay 2. So I think I want to play the Ghost Quarter here, just to see what happens. Yeah. I'm going to find all 3 of these, because at least I can cast these spells. Although, they really could play a Chalice on 4, or Chalice on 2, sorry, and take me off 2 as well. So I think they're thinking about whether or not to Condescend, or Thirst for Knowledge. Okay, Thirst for Knowledge is good for them. They discarded a Power Plant and another Thirst for Knowledge. Talisman, okay. Wall of Omens, a redraw is okay. I'm going to get in here. And then I think they're representing Remand or Condescend, so I'm going to play Wall of Omens first. Okay, that's pretty good. And I'm going to Ghost Quarter their Power Plant because they did just discard one. And I'm just going to play mistveil planes here. I'm not going to go crazy on the ghost quarters yet. I can do that later. Another thirst for knowledge. So just waiting for them to discard. 7 cards in hand, it must be an interesting decision. Alright, so they discarded Condescend, nice. Nailed it, and Urza's mine. Alright, well, I'll ghost quarter that next too. 6. Wormcoil? Yeah. Okay. Not the end of the world, although not good for me either. I'm going to Ghost Quarter, and I'm going to play a Squadron Hawk. And I'm going to use that Squadron Hawk to block. I know they're going to be gaining more life, but I think attacking is a good idea. And then when I use the Squadron Hawk to block, then I can put it on the bottom of my library, cast another one. Ideally. They could have other ideas. Their 4th thirst for knowledge. They must be really thirsty. Another talisman. Okay, put the Squad Hawk on the bottom. Squad Hawk loops, although I don't know how I'm going to win like this. You know, maybe I'll find an emeria or something soon. I have 6 planes already here. And hopefully my opponent doesn't do anything, but that's kind of unlikely. Thought not seer. Okay, so they're probably going to take my Squadron Hawk, just because I have a bunch of 1 CMC spells, you know, wouldn't make sense for them not to. If I get emeria online, then casting my creatures into the Chalice of the Void is viable, but at the moment it's not. So now that I can't fetch for the Squadron Hawk, I'm going to put the Field of Ruin on the bottom because, you know, maybe we can just get their mana base a little. Alright. I'm just going to pass to them. I'll leave up all my blockers. The Shark Typhoon, maybe Karn, maybe Ugin. If it's Ugin, I'll concede. Alright, I'll concede. So against Bluetron, I'm thinking I want Crucible of Worlds. I think Damping Sphere isn't as good, but the Hope of ghirapur and Hex Parasite are probably quite nice. And then I do think I want the Disenchant. Yeah, I don't think I like Damping Spear in this matchup. I'm going to cut my Ephemerates. And I'm going to cut a Martyr. And just go with this. If they have Chalice on one, it'd be really embarrassing to run into it. I know the only way now that I can deal with Worm Coil Engine is Solitude or Winds of Abandon, but that's okay. I'm willing to, to test that. I kind of thought about bringing in Aven Mindcensor here, but it's not as good, because the only time they're really fetching for anything is when I make them fetch with Field of Ruin or Ghost Quarter. And they have so many basics, they're likely to find them. All right. I'm gonna, well, no, I'll keep it. It's funny, but I'll keep it. Just waiting for our opponent to decide. Alright, so they kept with 6. I'll lead off here on planes and just pass. Not like I'm doing anything else. Ooh, Squadron Hawk is a great draw. I'm actually thinking I'll get all 3. Maybe discard it. No, I'll just get 2. There's no real reason to discard a land. Unless I top deck Crucible of Worlds. I hope they go land. Yeah, Talisman. Or Chalice, even better. So I'm gonna... Oh. So I'm torn now between taking them off Tron and hitting the Chalice. If I take them off Tron now, then they probably have Counterspell mana up next turn. So I think I should just... Oh, I think this was incorrect. Because I don't have any 1-drops in hand anyways. Fingers crossed. Nope. Oh. Good. They're not doing anything crazy. They could play Chalice on 2. That would be funny. Okay, Expedition map. That's awkward because they basically have redundancy on whatever I target. Emeria is good. I'm thinking I'm going to play Ranger Captain. They can't. Oh, they can counter it. Oh, okay. Forgot that adds 3 mana. Alright, well, it's just Ghost Quarter Dance. Thirst for Knowledge, sure. Was hoping they were going to crack the Expedition map. But they really don't have to. discarding Walking Ballista. That's probably a bad sign for me because Walking Ballista is really good for them. I feel like they have Ugin in hand. There's not much I can do about that. So they're probably just going to use the expedition map now, find their tower, play Ugin, and if they do that, then, well, I don't think I can beat Ugin. They got Academy Ruins. Okay. Which means they probably have another tower in hand. Or they don't care. Yep, they had another tower. Okay. It's always risky because you never know what they have. And it might have been correct to hit the mine because they played that last. But I think it's just incorrect to hit the power plant because they played it first. Alright, yep. Good game.